Rebellious Mind.
Rebellious Minds presents a new podcast experience for the ultimate fan called Comic-Cast, hosted by T'Challa BP74, where you can get breakdowns, reviews, and all the inside information.
August 23rd, 2019, Episode 4, Comic-Cast.
Good evening. This is your boy, T'Challa BP74. Tonight we got some interesting things to talk about. But before we get started, we have returning wingman in the house. Go ahead, state your name.
Kei-tano.
We're going to talk about some interesting things that happened within the last 24 to 48 hours. First up, we have the whole Disney / Sony debacle that's been going on in entertainment. So, if you haven't heard already, Disney is no longer in partnership with Sony as far as collaboration on the Spider-Man franchise. They couldn't come to a deal. Sony and Disney couldn't come to a deal, which when you literally sit back and you look at it, it's painful to see how it happened. Being that one, Spider-Man is a flagship character. Two, there was a lot of money at stake. And I don't know if it's greed. I don't know if it's power control. I don't know why they couldn't come to an agreement. I felt like with the way how it was going, Disney / Marvel were allowed to put Spider-Man in their movies to make movies and make money from it. But they couldn't make money when Sony dropped a solo Spider-Man movie, such as Homecoming and Far From Home. There were 3 movies that Spider-Man was in the MCU, which was, of course, Civil War, which was his debut, then Infinity War, and then Endgame. It's sad to see him go. Wish it could have been, not that way, but I mean, business is business. What's your take on that, Kei-tano?
I think there's a lot of work that has to be done now because it seemed that the Spider-Man character was going to be like one of those cornerstone characters, where you could build several movies off of them, which they have already done. So a lot of groundwork had been laid with this character. And it's unfortunate that the two companies have allowed it to get to the point where it would appear to be just about money and not about the fans. Because being in business for myself, I've worked with people and said, you know what, no matter what, we're going to get a deal done. It's just a matter of getting the logistics down.
Do you think it was a money thing?
At the moment, that's the only thing that makes sense. So I have to assume that it has to be about money because it surely it's not about the income. It's not about the fact that the fans responded negatively to the character and what they've done with the character. And so if you've got approval from the fan base, the approval is showing up in the money that is being made. What else is there to be fighting over except for the money and the time?
What about ownership?
I'm the kind of person that as long as I'm getting what I believe is my fair share, I don't care whose name is on it. But that's just me, though. That's the kind of business person I am. I don't need to be in the spotlight. I don't need to be, I don't need the credit. Yeah. I like getting credit. Don't get me wrong. I like the recognition, but I don't have to have it because I would prefer my bank account reflect the work that I've done on whatever that project is.
Let me ask you a question. You have a car, right?
I do.
It's your car.
Yes.
You own the car.
And yet I don't drive the car.
Okay. Who drives the car?
My wife drives the car.
Okay. But that's your wife. That's your spouse. That's your partner.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
This is a situation like your neighbor across the street having control over your car because that's your property. No matter how you look at it, Spider-Man is Marvel's property.
That type of conversation is a conversation that is had on the residential level of life.
Okay.
When you talk about business, it's about the bottom line. And the bottom line is money.
Yeah.
And the recognition is Sony knows that their name is going to be somewhere in those credits. And that should be good enough. So, I think that when you are on our level, which is like, I'll just call it the street level, yeah, the name matters. Like my neighbor having control over my car would be like, that's not happening. But in business, let's say it's apples and oranges as far as that example goes.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably, okay, I saw a meme, and the memes have been coming in, but I saw a meme that really struck a chord with me. Tony was holding up the Infinity Gauntlet, and he was like, I died for this. I sacrificed myself for this.
Yeah. Hey, the people behind the story of the MCU, you can tell that they believe that they were all going to roll tight through and through until the wheels fall off this thing. And so it was like a good faith way of telling the story because they did not have to build it around Spider-Man.
True.
So there's so many other characters that you can build it around, but Spider-Man is a fan favorite. He's a beloved character.
Flagship character.
Yeah, he's a flagship character.
Yeah.
So it only makes sense to bring him into the MCU. But if they weren't allowed to, they would have found another way, and they would have been just as successful.
I'm going to ask you a question. When you're talking about Marvel Comics or Marvel movies, who are the big four?
Say the question again. I want to make sure I got it.
When you're talking about Marvel Comics or Marvel movies, who are considered the big four?
Iron Man. Captain America. Black Widow.
No.
You said, you gave me the choice about movies.
I didn't give you the choice. I said, who would you consider to be?
Oh, who would I consider? Who would I? Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I thought it was
like in basketball, you have the big four.
Yeah, okay.
In Marvel Comics.
No, so then that of course then you have Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, of course. No. Why not?
No, Spider-Man is not one of the big four. In the Marvel Comics...
Fantastic Four.
No. In the big four in comics and movies, you're talking about Iron Man, Captain America... Thor, and Incredible Hulk. Those are the big four. Even when you talk... Listen, when you're talking Marvel, when you're talking Avengers, when you're talking comics, anything that has to do with Marvel, they are considered the big four.
Okay.
The one
why is Black Widow not considered?
Because she's not a big four.
I gotta admit, I have enjoyed that character more than I enjoyed.
Yes, and I'm not saying we don't enjoy her. She's amazing at what she does.
Yeah.
She's not one of the big four. She's not a power forward.
Why is Banner?
She's not a point guard. She's not a shooting guard. She's not a small forward.
She's
not even a center.
Why is Banner one of the big four?
Banner's one of the big four. When you talk about the big four, you're talking about the shakers and the movers. His intelligence, other than Tony, no one in the Avengers out of the original six from in the movies are that smart. Other than him and Tony. Okay?
So then when you're talking about
Brute, he's not part of the Avengers, first of all.
Okay.
When you're talking about brute force, brute strength, all of that.
No, I get it.
Okay? But Hulk can stand alone. Thor can stand alone. Captain America can stand alone. Iron Man can stand alone. But together they are considered the big four. There is one other character who stands apart from them, but he stands as himself.
Black Panther.
No.
He doesn't stand as himself?
Spider-Man.
Okay.
We talking about
I get what you're
flagship
saying.
characters.
I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the big four can all hold their own and they're all flagship characters, but the only one who's not considered a big four, but still is a flagship character, carries his own weight. More than just a fan favorite. But when you're talking about Marvel Comics, you cannot speak Marvel Comics or Marvel movies without talking about Spider-Man.
You know, in my household when I was growing up, the comic books that were around the house, because I didn't buy them, my uncles bought them and just left them lying around the house. And so you could always find an X-Men. You could always find a Spider-Man.
Always.
And then in our household, you could always find a Daredevil. Which makes sense because we lived in New Jersey, which is very close to New York City.
Hell's Kitchen.
So those three are the ones that I remember the most seeing around the house. And Fantastic Four was in our house a lot too.
But see, Fantastic Four stands all by themselves,
just like Spider-Man.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm looking forward to when Fantastic Four make its debut in the MCU, because Fantastic Four is the first family.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I can't understand from a story perspective how this happens, because it's like messing with a good thing.
If it's not broken,
don't fix it.
Don't. You see what I'm saying? So when you have something that's golden, first of all, we've seen all these other Spider-Man movies. Okay? Tobey Maguire had 3. Andrew Garfield had 2. Then these 2 that Tom Holland had, that's 7. And I remembered in my very first podcast, I was saying that Far From Home was the best out of these 7.
You know, I will say this though, from a business standpoint, there was a meme that had a Mickey Mouse's face but on like a human body and holding a baby, and like the baby's hat Fox on there, and Mickey's face was angry and looking at Sony saying, "Don't make me buy you too."
It's funny because I have this friend, she's in Atlanta, and she had posted something about the whole debacle and everything. And I said, you know what? I said, watch Disney go and buy Sony just to shut this down. Because they can do it.
When in doubt, or better yet, if a deal can't be done, then I'll just buy you.
I'll just buy you. You see what I'm saying? And I believe that's why Disney pulled back and said, you know what, man? I'm not dealing with you right now. Because when I'm ready to buy you, I will.
I don't know what the rules are, but I noticed that Disney can buy whatever the heck they want.
Whatever.
AT&T can get blocked.
You see what I'm saying?
Heartbeat.
In a heartght. But Disney could walk in and say, hey, let me put this money on this table.
ESPN, ABC, Hulu, which I just found out today, Fox, Star Wars, Marvel.
You see what I'm saying? These are all juggernauts.
Pixar.
These are all juggernauts, man. So if Disney could come in here and buy juggernauts one after another, what's going to stop them from acquiring Sony? You know the only thing that Disney cannot purchase?
No.
Warner Brothers.
Is that a block in the law saying they can't have
I don't know if it's in the fine print, but I do know some way, somehow, because it's a direct conflicting, competitor.
Yeah.
That they cannot buy or they will not buy.
You know what? What was the movie? 300. Remember 300?
Yeah. Leonidas.
The Spartans did not win that fight.
They didn't.
And right now, Sony's looking a little bit like Sparta.
They do. We are Sparta. Kicking people down,
Hey.
Trenches and all that. But listen, on a serious note, it's sad to see Spider-Man go.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's gone forever, but it's sad to see him go.
Sure.
The one thing where I think Sony messed up is every movie that Sony had dropped before with Spider-Man that they released in the last 5 didn't gross nowhere close to the numbers that Far From Home did. And Far From Home did that, and so did Homecoming, close but not as much. Yeah. Was because it was in Disney's hands.
I see two losers in this.
And you think that they are?
The fan base and Holland.
Yes. Who is a fan favorite? Because fans love him as Spider-Man.
How can you not?
Bruh, I pointed it out like this. Tobey Maguire, great Spider-Man.
Hey, he brought Spider-Man to the big screen.
Yeah, he did. But terrible Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield, good Peter Parker, terrible Spider-Man.
Although I did like the first one. The second one I couldn't stomach.
No, man, I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
There was hits and misses. Tom Holland, great Peter Parker, amazing Spider-Man.
Hey, the guy made a tear come to my eye when he's on the plane talking to Happy, and he's like, don't tell me to like chill out or something like that because, you know, you didn't make the mistake that I just made, you know, and I can't live up to this guy's image. And like, you could feel the anguish he's feeling at that
That's
moment.
the one thing that I liked about Tom Holland versus the other two actors.
Yeah.
When he is in his Spider-Man element, you connect.
Yeah.
There's no disconnect where there were disconnects with the other two.
Yeah.
To where I kept saying he was the perfect. And again, Marvel have been known to land amazing actors for specific roles.
Yeah.
Whoever is on their casting team are really good at their job.
I mean, you could argue that even the people who were pulled off the bench to replace characters did an amazing job because Rhodey turned out to be fantastic.
Yes. And not the Terrence Howard Rhodey.
And what's the other one? Ruffalo.
Yeah. Way better than Ed Norton.
But I do like Ed. Don't get me wrong.
Ed Norton is an amazing actor.
Yeah.
But I love where Ruffalo took.
Yeah. And he gave it a completely different spin on it.
Yes. Different feel.
Yeah.
You know, great spin, great tape.
Yeah.
Banter.
Yeah.
Watching him and Tony go into the debacle or the banters. Man, I get tingly, man.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, he kind of reminds me of like how you and I could be sometimes, where it's like one of us could talk us into doing something that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, we shouldn't be doing this. You know. But yeah, no, absolutely. You know, but again, you are absolutely right. I think the ones who are losing are the fans in Holland, and we should not have to pay for these guys and their differences and where they wanted to take it. But again, it's a power struggle. I mean, we watch it going on in the world today. We watch it in something that we love. I just hate the fact that something that we love the way we love it, it's being tarnished and ripped apart by greed or by control. And it's sad because, there's a lot of things that I guess we can say is ours because it's precious to us. And for somebody to come and taint it now, it's not good.
Yeah.
So as we move on, next thing, I wanted to talk about in that whole Disney/Sony thing was Stanley's daughter. What she did, she came out. This was, in the midst of, everything that was happening with Spider-Man. And she said that when her father passed away, they were not humanized, or they didn't approach it from a human aspect. They didn't reach out to her, condolences. It was none of that. It was just,
and she said more than that too, though. I mean, she basically accused them of treating Stan badly during the relationship. And see, the problem with this is you know that I have to have like a lot of information in order to formulate my opinion. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I didn't even know he had a daughter. So I don't know. I didn't know he had one. And the fact that the way this woman is talking, it's like, I don't know anything about her.
Yeah.
Like, was she there with Stan the entire time witnessing this? Is she a spoiled child that went away from the family and came back after he died?
But you have to also ask yourself, was this a conversation she was having with her dad in private?
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
But the way how she feels, they are driven by emotions that she feels is close to her heart.
And why now? If any of my parents are being treated a certain way during a business relationship, then people are going to know about that during, not long after they're gone. But that's just me.
You got to understand too, though, from a business standpoint, her saying something then might have not been good for her dad.
I mean, we're talking about Stan Lee here. I'm sure he's got plenty. But let me ask you a question.
You've heard many times where all it takes is for one person to say, I was molested or I was touched inappropriate or this inappropriate thing happened. And everybody else who was afraid to come forward now starts to step out and say,
yeah,
this person touched me too and that person did this to me too as well.
We probably have to keep an eye on this one because I don't think that. Well, first of all, Disney's not allowed. They don't allow themselves to be pushed around.
They don't.
By anybody.
They don't. I'll be honest. The mouse is a bully. He's a bully. He's greedy. I mean, he is the mouse. You see what I'm saying? And he has the clout and the power to do it.
Yeah.
The golden rule is who have the gold what?
Rules.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So
they have a way of making you love them all the while.
Yeah.
So,
he can be the bully if he wants to. You know, the big bad mouse who's running, you know what I'm saying? Who's running the playing field.
We shall see what happens.
All right, so we move on to this weekend. D23 is going on. It started a couple days ago. And D23 is a convention where Disney drops everything from the past, from the present, and the future. So in the process of D23 happening, they released a lot of things. One of the things that I loved about D23, I had a friend that was there. He was giving me play-by-play, and I've been, keeping up to par and watching, stream live and some live stuff that was happening. And they were showing all of the Cinderellas that came to pass, from the big screen to adaptation, whether it was Brandy's Cinderella or the very last Cinderella on TV, Cinderella on Once, all those, and they showed all the different dresses. They had them on their they built like this little museum, and they were displaying everything, and I was like, wow, man, D23 is a convention that I would love to go to. I love to take my lady to it, and I love to take my daughter to it. Are you telling
me that you haven't gone to this thing as Black Panther?
No, I haven't.
They have not invited the king to come out there and just hang out? What's going on with the world?
The king been busy running Wakanda. That's what happens when he has to run Wakanda. I'm just saying. Yeah. But I would love to go out there, take some time and go out there and see this. And it happens every year. But in the process of them dropping D23, they dropped some stuff that's amazing. They just dropped within the last few hours. Okay, and this is breaking news for the those who's not up to par, haven't turned on social media and see what's going on. They dropped. Now, keep in mind, they dropped a whole lot of stuff last month at Comic-Con for Phase 4, but they just dropped 3 things for D23 at D23. One of them is Miss Marvel. I don't know if you know Miss Marvel. This is not to be confused with Captain Marvel. Okay. This chick is, first of all, she's Muslim. And I hope that that's the route they go to.
Kamala.
It would be beautiful if they do. Okay.
I like Kamala.
Okay.
I don't like her powers.
Okay.
That's it.
Is it?
I don't like her powers. They're so weird.
They are. But if you ask every single individual, not everybody likes Tony Stark and his suits. Not everybody likes Wakanda and the vibranium they possess and the intelligent warrior race that they
They're
are.
just too weird for me.
Not everybody like Hulk turning green and being super strong.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Different strokes for different folks.
I get it.
You know what I mean? But I know they're going to do her justice because we have not seen a character yet that they have not done justice to.
I thoroughly enjoy her character. You know, just as a Muslim girl in New York.
Stumble upon.
And she's trying to navigate her way
having these
through
abilities.
adolescence.
Yes.
You know, and she's smart. And that's another thing that I really like about her. So.
Now, here's the thing. The way how she got her name, she admired Captain Marvel so much that she took on that name. But she couldn't be called Captain because she wasn't.
She's not a captain, right?
So she just went with the whole Miss Marvel thing.
Yeah, and even the attire. You know, it has the Captain Marvel logo, like the bolt, but it has that covered because she's covered from like neck all the way down to her feet. You know, and it's very, very classic.
So even in her costume, you see that she's still respecting
her roots,
and her, I guess you could say her religion / way of life.
Yeah, it's her culture.
It's her culture. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing, and I love it.
Yeah,
I want to see how they're gonna work her powers.
Yeah,
you know, because at times we see her hand get like super long, super big.
Right. She reminds me a lot of Plastic Man with the powers
or Reed Richards.
Or Reed Richards,
you know what I mean. So I don't know. We're gonna see. Yeah. But I'm interested to see what they do with that, and I'm excited for it to be coming to the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
One of the next things they dropped was my homegirl Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, cousin of Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
And for anybody that know her, they know that she's an attorney first and foremost,
and that she chooses to be hulked out.
Exactly.
And I gotta admit,
well, now it's more than just she chooses to. She obtained this because she had gotten that blood transfusion, and with her it became permanent because it turned her pigment green. She was strong, yet beautiful.
I mean, the way they draw her is,
bruh.
We
don't know who's gonna play her yet.
Yeah.
But I'm interested and I'm excited to see what she look like.
She is,
but she kicked butt though, because remember she done been on a few teams. She done been an Avenger.
Yeah.
She done been part of the Fantastic Four.
Well, now she
done been a part of Team Smash too.
Since we're talking about this, why don't we just go ahead and tell me your top 2 preferred She-Hulk actresses?
No, you know that's not fair.
I know.
I don't even know why you even did that to me. I don't even want to talk about this because it's not fair. We can't do that. We can't do that. That wouldn't be right because it's too many women in Hollywood that I think would be great. But yet I don't think anybody has the stature to pull it off.
Because, well, I mean, technology today, I mean, you see what they did with Thanos.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, I mean, it would require probably something like that because, I mean, how tall is she? Is she like...
She's over 7, almost 8 feet if I'm not
right,
mistaken.
so she's 8 feet. You're gonna need...
She is close to 8 feet, if not 8 feet. I want to say she's like 7.
It sounds like you're gonna need some CG work.
You're gonna need some CG work
to pull that off.
But she's an incredibly beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
So whoever that they cast gonna have to be incredibly beautiful.
I don't know.
And still kick butt and still look amazing in green doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I want to see. I want to see. You know. But again, I think it's a great way to pull her in, and maybe you can even tie in the whole Bruce Banner thing and keep him in that revolving door.
Well, I mean, obviously, they really planned everything out because, I mean, what are we really getting in 2020? A lot of the stuff I'm hearing about is 2021.
And
that's a ways away.
Well, 2020 we getting Black Widow. Her movie is dropping, and the Eternals is dropping.
Yeah, the Eternals I'm definitely interested in, and it's hard for me to get excited about a character that's already died. You know,
I hear what you're saying. You know, you got her and you got Eternals, and then the following year, which is 2021,
right?
You have the Doctor Strange movie.
But you even got shows coming out.
You got Shang-Chi.
So,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that Disney Plus thing. I thought about it, and I saw how cheap it is.
Yeah.
So,
I have to have that.
Yeah.
I need that in my life. I've been trying to place the app up on my smart TV, and if for some reason it's not in production yet, so I can't put it up. But I'm just too excited. Like, come on with it already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, next thing on the list we have. This is close to my heart for a couple of reasons. One, because great friend of mine. This is his guy. Like how Black Panther is my guy. This is his guy. But this guy has a connection with my guy, being that both of them worship a god that are actually related. Because the Panther goddess, Bastet, is actually related to Khonshu. Mm-hmm. So we're getting ready to talk about my man Mark Spector, a.k.a. Moon Knight, a.k.a. Mr. Knight. Now, the last episode that me and you had, we talked about, you remember the hashtag?
No.
Hashtag long game.
Yeah.
And we said that Marvel plays this long game.
Yeah.
And they drop these nuggets and these hints way back in the day. We go back to Winter Soldier, when they're on top of the roof. Mm-hmm. And he called out the reporter from Cairo.
Yep.
Which is Mark Spector.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now, when did Winter Soldier come out? 2015?
I'd have to look it up.
2014, 2015. Okay?
Okay.
Because Civil War came out in 2016.
Okay.
So I want to say it was 2014 or 2015 is when is when Winter Soldier came out. Now here we are in 2019, and they just dropped the fact that this movie is coming 3 to 4 years from now. Yeah. And it's Moon Knight. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we're looking at 10 years from when they talked about it.
Yeah, they like to drop those little seeds. You
see what I'm saying? Because they are perfect. Again, I go back and I said, Kevin Feige, hats off to you because you're an architect. Yeah. You lay groundwork. You see what I'm saying? You can't just throw up a building without the groundwork being stable. Yeah. So you lay all these foundations and these pillars, and when you have something strong and structural, bam, then you go ahead and you start putting up the wall. Bam, then you go ahead and you start putting up the roof. You see what I'm saying?
One of the cool things about it is that when they drop these nuggets, they don't have to commit to them.
No, they don't.
They can just, let it be what it is, and the fans they'll still be waiting for it. So Winter Soldier was 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
So here is it 5 years later, a nugget that was dropped in 2014. And I've been saying this to a lot of my friends. If you're paid attention to everything on that roof, they only paid attention to Stephen Strange and Bruce Banner because they already knew Bruce Banner and they know Stephen Strange was Doctor Strange. So they was like, okay, hey, this is the case. Doctor Strange is coming. Woohoo! Mm-hmm. Totally ignored the whole reporter from Cairo. Mm-hmm. Totally ignored the valedictorian, which that's gonna come too. Okay? And we're gonna, when that comes.
Who's the valedictorian?
If they do it the right way, they're talking about Amadeus Cho.
Okay.
We already seen his mom in Age of Ultron.
Okay, yeah.
Helen Cho.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? She was a doctor who helped Hawkeye put on the fake skin.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And again, they are perfect at playing the long game. We talked about this long game because Black Panther 2 is they staring toward Namor being antagonist. Yeah. When back in Iron Man 2, we saw nuggets towards Black Panther and Namor. Mm. If we paid attention to the screen told us what was going on. Mm-hmm. Iron Man 2 was the third Marvel movie, MCU movie. It went Iron Man 1, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2.
Did it go right back to Iron Man 2?
Right back to Iron Man 2. Yeah. Then it went to Thor. Mm-hmm. Then it went to Captain America. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Long game. These guys are great at playing the long game. And if you paid attention to the things and the nuggets and how they played out, the puzzle pieces, man, it's genius. Yeah. So that's what's going on. One of the things that happened was Kevin Feige at D23. Kevin Feige, when he was announcing all these things that was coming out, he brought out It was during the Captain America's Falcon, because Falcon is now Captain America, the Winter Soldier, that series, and he brought out Daniel Bruhl, which is supposed to be Baron Zemo.
Okay.
Now, one of the other things that he did, okay, when he brought out Baron Zemo, he was talking and so on and so on, and he brought someone else out. Now, for anybody who been paying attention to who else he brought out this guy called Wyatt Russell. Okay? Wyatt Russell is supposed to be playing this guy, and again, without giving it away, he's playing this guy named John Walker. For many Captain America fans out there, y'all know who John Walker was. John Walker was somebody that was brought in by the government to replace Captain America. Now we know, other than Isaiah Bradley, ain't no other Captain America. Even when Steve Rogers was running around as Nomad, he was Captain America.
Right.
So, with them bringing in this dude for him to take on that role, right? I think they had introduced him as Super Patriot or something like in the 80s. But if they bring in John Walker, it goes back to this thing that I had saw, a rumor, and I don't know how true it is. They didn't want Sam Wilson to become Captain America.
Yeah.
Okay? So if they do that, maybe we could see where they again trying to force the Captain America onto someone else because they don't want Falcon to actually have it.
I mean, now, if you bring in somebody else, and that somebody else tries to be a Captain America...
Come on, man. Come on.
I mean, I guess you could see a conflict between, like, Sam and whoever this new person is, but it's kind of still a weak story.
But I think that's just going to be a part of it. I don't think that's going to be the main thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The main bad guy here is Daniel Bruhl or Baron Zemo.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. I gotta see it. I mean, they haven't failed us. I mean, there have been times where we may have been dissatisfied. I might be dissatisfied if they try to introduce that to the storyline, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to see it. Last but not least, earlier today, again at D23, Kevin Feige announced that they were bringing Kit Harrington into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. For any Game of Thrones fans out there, you should know who Kit Harrington is. He is no other than Jon Snow, son of Rhaegar Targaryen.
Mm-hmm.
I am looking forward to seeing this dude.
Now, is this definitely confirmed? Because the article I read said that they were close or something like that. No. This is a certainty now.
This is a certainty.
All right.
Okay. So we're going to see who they're going to put him at. I find it very, I guess you could say, suspect.
Yeah.
They announced that or they confirmed that right after they confirmed Moon Knight.
So you think he's going to be Moon Knight?
Strong possibility. Strong possibility.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have enough information to say one way or the other. And I also, outside of what I've spoken with you and your friend, that's all I know about Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So there were not any Moon Knight comics when I grew up.
And here's the thing about Moon Knight. He have multiple personalities.
I did read that today, though.
One of them, he's a detective.
Right. And another is like a taxi driver or something, right?
I have seen Kit Harrington play in one movie or two movies where he's a cop. No, one. It was one. Yeah, he was a... I
think I saw that movie.
Yeah, I think he was like something like a 00 agent or something like that. Or some kind of special agent, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to see that. And if he is going to be Moon Knight, then I say thumbs up, bring it on. You know what I mean? And I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
You know, so again, you know, it's a great thing, a great addition to the MCU. And if that's the route they go, and if it's not the route they go, I'm still looking forward to whatever Kit Harrington is going to do.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't end it like they did Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that would be very tough.
Yeah.
That'd be very tough to watch if that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah. at the end of the day, you have to continue to give Marvel the trust until they lose it.
Yeah.
And they haven't lost my trust yet, so...
I don't think they will. I don't think they lose anybody's trust. I think this thing with Spider-Man slipped through their hands, but...
A friend of mine would say that they figured out the formula.
They have.
And they just keep running the same formula over and over again.
I mean...
Engaging story, great cinematography, and a big storyline.
This is what they do. They would have a whole bunch of stories that they write out, okay? And they'll say, okay, give me one that's better than that. Or give me one that's better than those. And you submit it, and they say, okay, give me one that's better than that.
Yeah.
And they submit. So at the end of the day, they have the best possible story that they can go with.
Yeah.
And then it's just up to the director to come and help them execute an amazing story.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believe in their formula. The formula have worked thus far, and it keeps working. And I'm excited to see what they do going forward in Phase 4 and Phase 5.
I like how quickly they let the public know that just because there's an end game doesn't mean that we can't start a new game.
Exactly. And again, while still playing the hashtag long game.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they know what they're doing over there at
Absolutely.
And you know,
which makes it that much more unfortunate that Spider-Man is gone. And I'll say that I don't even know who is going to replace this character from a foundation standpoint. They'll find somebody.
They will. They have too many characters. Like, you see they just dropped the whole Miss Marvel thing?
Yeah.
They have too many characters in their arsenal to where, you know, they cannot be defined by Spider-Man. They have too many people out there.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep dropping great, amazing movies, and they're going to keep making money and taking hours.
I'd love to see Riri on screen.
I mean, I think we all would, and I think that she might be coming.
Think so?
I think so.
It'd be nice to see that.
Let me tell you why. Miss Marvel wasn't that far in front of Riri.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And if they could drop a Miss Marvel, they could drop a Riri.
The world could always use another Iron Man in there.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, that brings us to a close this evening. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is your boy, yours truly, T'Challa, BP74, aka VRW, and my man,
Kei-tano.
Thank you.